And welcome to the M2 podcast. This is the show where we cover video games, industry related news, esports and personalities, and pretty much everything that's been going on with the world of PC gaming technology innovation. And I'm your host, MadMikeWillEatU. My co host is KyleHeath. And pretty much what we like to do at the start of every episode is to give an update of what we've been up to. But for the people that are actually watching on video, we are dressed up. We are themed right now. I am currently dressed up as a pirate, a actual captain. My hat is somewhere in the closet. It's a little bit too big, honestly, to be podcasting. But Kyle, what are you wearing?
Oh man, you don't know what this is? I'm gonna give you the literal name of the costume. I bought this at a
Okay.
Spirit Halloween a year ago.
Oh my gosh, Spirit
Still,
Halloween.
still held up though in storage. This was just, I think it was like a Dark Knight is what it's called. So like, I guess you
A
get like a
Dark
sword,
Knight.
and you're supposed to be like
Yeah.
a dark medieval knight kind of thing. I don't know. It's really shiny and stuff. It actually like fits me pretty nice. But but yeah, it's just like it has like a hood and stuff too. But with the headset, it gets kind of hard to throw the hood on.
Right.
But like the hood also looks like this material, so it's like you're just one sparkly like Dark Knight thing. Yeah.
It has a lion on the front, like it's a Lannister
Yeah, I know. It kind of does. I
from
think they got
Game of Thrones.
they got some inspiration for sure. But
Yeah.
and it looks like a giant skirt. Like if I stand up, it looks like I'm just wearing like a long skirt. Yeah. But I don't know. It was something cheap, and like I got it for like a party last year, so this is
Nice.
what I got. But yeah, I gotta say,
Yeah,
dude,
those are the best ones.
the pirate outfit's looking great though. I have to say, I like it.
Dude, it's a proper trench coat, man.
Yeah,
Proper
I know.
trench coat. It even has like a big belt. Right now I'm utilizing the standing desk. So I could show it off, but I put the belt in the other room. I was just like, you know what? Let's keep it simple for the pod. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
But it's a perfect outfit because I went to university and our mascot are pirates. So it actually works out when I go to like if I were to go to homecoming, I haven't been in years. But this is the outfit I would bring because it would also give multi-purpose, not just like once a year,
Yeah,
like try to dress up in theme when you can. And who
yeah,
doesn't like
sure.
pirates overall?
I mean, yeah, that'd be a go-to for me. So who knows, dude? That
So
could be my
simple.
second one, my second costume. Probably end up getting another one.
I feel like the number one overall popular outfit is ninja.
Yeah,
And then
I could
after
see
that,
that. Yeah,
it's got to be like probably pirate or knight. Knight would work, medieval, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, something like that.
And then
Dude, I
some horror thing.
yeah, like I will say, like the biggest thing I've been seeing recently of costumes is like, especially if I look on like Amazon deals and stuff like that, is like couples costumes, and there's like a bunch of just like
Yeah.
hilarious like couples ones. I
I
always
like
think
the
those are
food
funny.
related ones.
Yeah, yeah.
You
There's
know,
like I think there was like I saw one that was like hot dog and mustard, which I thought was kind
yeah.
of funny.
I was
Like
good. I was exactly going to say that it's like some type of food and then a condiment
yeah,
that goes with it.
yeah. Peanut butter jelly, I think, was another one I saw. It's like just it's
That's
like
pretty
these
good.
like it's these little like just clever costumes. But yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, we came out for the Halloween episode because I feel like we had to.
Yeah. It at the time of recording is October 27th. It's going to come out on the 28th, and then Halloween is on Monday.
Yeah,
So
sure. So
it's gonna be cool.
right
Are
on
you
the
gonna do
corner.
any type of celebrations? I think we're both a little bit too old to go out trick or treating.
Yeah, yeah, safe to say. You know, I don't think I have anything planned this year, honestly. So I mean, I'll just be chilling. I do some gaming and whatnot. I don't know, especially I work Monday, so and I'm sure you do as well. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
probably the day of won't be a whole lot, but I don't know. I mean, there may be some local stuff. I think Saturday night I'm gonna try and do something with some friends and whatnot. So we'll probably I think there's a bunch of like Halloween stuff going around locally that's like just they're doing it on Saturday since it's when everyone's free. So but yeah, we'll see. Might do a little something like that. See if there's like some music around or something. So I don't know. What about you? You got anything? I mean, you're the big city, dude. I mean, do you like?
Yeah. I'm in a big city, but I'm not really utilizing it. It's been so weird the last 2 years. So I've been kind of keeping to myself, gaming a lot. Um,
Yeah,
hey, I don't really have plans. I think mostly for me is just watching sports, watching the Premier League, watching the NFL, even like some esports too. Overwatch, I've been playing that a ton, right? So I kind of want to get into the Overwatch League, the Contenders League, and stuff like that. Check them out. I've been dying to improve.
yeah,
So
You've been
And I'm
grinding a
like,
lot, dude.
dude, I've been playing too much, honestly. You probably have seen me online pretty much every day for the last like 2 weeks.
I for sure, especially super
After
late.
7 o'clock,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the longest I've been gaming in a long time. Like when it comes to the day. I
Yeah.
don't think I was playing the same hours even when I was competing in Halo. I think I had a hard cutoff at like 11:30, and I've been over here playing Overwatch till like 1 or 2 a.m. And I'm like, dude, I'm not in college anymore. I can't be doing this.
Oh man, yeah, it's wild, dude. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying the game though. I mean,
I'm having fun, man.
that's any proof that that a game's good. You know,
I
stuck up
missed
play a
it.
little time.
I think it's because I used to be really, really good at like mouse and keyboard, and you never got to experience it because we went and played Apex and I got bopped. Um, like, but I used to be like really good at COD and like even CS:GO I was pretty good. Not just to my own horn, but like I had friends that had been competing in those games for a long time, and they're like, "Yeah, you're actually decent." So, um, their word carries a lot for me. And now, like I got onto Overwatch and I was getting destroyed, man. But now that
Yeah,
I'm like, I keep playing. I'm like, I can tell I'm getting better. It's
yeah.
like I'm not missing as much. Because they have all the stats for everything, and I'm like literally watching my stats. I'm like, okay, I have more critical damage. I'm like, I'm doing work, helping more. So it just feels good. It's rewarding.
Yeah, yeah, for
So,
sure. That's awesome, man.
what have you been up to for the last week? What games have you been playing?
Um, really, I think the same old for the most part. Back for Blood, playing some of that. We're still hammering away at that campaign. We had an unfortunate tragedy when we were playing this past session. Um,
What happened?
we're in Act 3, I guess, out of 5 or 6. And we made it all the way to the last section of this act. There were probably like 8 or 9 sections, and it took us at least 2-3 hours to get towards the end.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
we ended up dying like we ended up wiping like halfway through over like something really stupid. And we were just like, oh well, that's annoying. And so we just kept playing, and like we did really well. But on the last section, the last level of that section is like they were like throwing everything at us, and it's like we just weren't prepared for it. And so we ended up wiping again. And on the difficulty we play on, there's only one continue. So if you burn that, like next time you wipe, you have to start over from the beginning of the act. We were at the very end, and we ended up
Oh
wiping. Had to
no.
start all the way at the beginning. But we actually got there pretty quick the second time though. I think we got to where we like left off within like an hour and a half or so. So it was like we just kind of sped run that act, and we got caught up pretty quick. But that was where we
Well,
left off. So
let me ask you this so I haven't played Back for Blood in a while. But we did talk about this 2 episodes ago about how there's a card system that rewards and like gives you perks and it also helps you with like let's say you want to build like a support type character that gives you extra ammo or like healing or whatever. Can you add those cards and those perks during the act? Like, because I know there are different sections. There are chapters in each act, right?
yeah, there's like chapters. Yeah, that's how I would describe
Yeah.
it.
So is it in between each chapter you can like adjust your loadout
That's
or take
that's a
what you want at the
that's the
start?
thing. It's very much like from the start you pick your deck, and then you ride with that the whole act. And so
Okay.
like if you want to change it, as far as I'm aware, if you want to change it, I don't know if you like if you quit out and then come back, I still don't think you can change it. I think you have to stick with it, and then if you redo the act, that's when you can like, okay, I want to change out my deck, try a different build,
Yeah.
and yeah, and you can like put
Okay.
camos on and stuff too, like your weapons and whatnot. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to start over, and it's the same with difficulties. Like you can't. I know we talked about it, but like you can't just like randomly switch difficulties mid act. You have to like go back, and in some cases you
Yeah.
have to play the previous acts and get caught up to where you were. Like you have to start from scratch and then do a whole run. So,
That is one thing that I do remember. It was kind of like a progression system that if you beat the entire game on the easiest difficulty, you can't go to like normal difficulty and go to like the end, the
yeah,
last part of the game to finish it.
exactly.
It's
Yeah,
like you have to start over completely. Like it's a new overall game experience.
yeah.
Uh,
Which I can respect for playability and everything. But yeah,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's super
yeah,
common, I feel like. At least in like older games.
yeah, for sure. But yeah. So Back for Blood was the main one. Played more Saints Row yesterday. I know. I posted a clip on Twitter earlier of my experience with
Yeah.
that. So if you want to know the experience, There's a clip there. Every session there's a bug that completely breaks the game. We have to rebuild it, but is what it is. I can't complain too much because at least it's not like embedded in the save or anything. Like if we just restart it, like 9 times out of 10, we've had success with just being able to play through. But very interesting. Where the game has been out for 2 months, and I don't know if there's a patch. I haven't heard anything. So they say they're working on something on Twitter. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully November's the month, dude. That's all I'm saying. Because
I mean,
it's been rough.
It's gonna be tough if they don't release some like patches, man, because there are a lot of good games coming out in November.
Yeah,
a lot of good games.
There's good games
just
coming out
first week
today.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, sheesh. Tomorrow, yeah, today of the release.
Yeah, drops today.
So,
yeah, which I've been meaning to ask. I didn't know what your plans were for Modern Warfare 2. Were you gonna get it? Were you gonna wait? What was your thing?
I'm probably gonna get it.
Yeah,
probably gonna get it. I think I was actually telling some of the guys I've been playing Overwatch with, if I get COD, because I really like the stories that are in COD, just the overall military shooter campaigns. I love them. I'm like, dude, I'm addicted to it. I've been playing COD since COD 2 and World War II. Like, I love just battle and history, so I'm like really in tune with that. So campaigns I love, even if they're fake, all about it.
Yeah.
So all that to basically say, if it's going to be a judge for me of how much I like Overwatch, because right now Overwatch is sucking the soul out of me. I've been playing a lot. So if I can get on the new COD and I find the new COD more fun, then I guess that's just going to be the new game I'm going to be playing.
Right.
That's just going to be the new shooter I play. But if it's not, then I'm going to go to Overwatch and I'm going to buy the battle pass and I'm going to start doing the microtransactions, because it's like I've been playing Overwatch so much now that I'm like, I have this default skin for Kiriko and I've been maining her for support. It's like I got up the ante now.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about you? Are you gonna go into COD? Are you even a COD player? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I used to play a lot of COD. The more recent ones I really played, I think Cold War was the last one I bought, and it was okay. The campaign was short, but it was pretty good. I hear there's I've been seeing like bits and pieces of the new campaign, but I mean, if it's anything like people regarded the Modern Warfare reboot, I guess 2019, it's probably going to be good. So, yeah, I mean, I think my buddy got it, so I'll probably end up getting it and playing some, maybe even this weekend. So, yeah, it'll be the first COD I bought since Cold War, I think. So, because I think I passed on Vanguard. I played like during the free weekend, and I was just like, yeah, I had no interest to actually get it. So,
yeah, I heard most people are they view Vanguard is one of the worst CODs ever.
I mean, so, yeah, it's
it kind of flopped.
It's kind of the state of COD, and that's I'm pretty sure why we're not getting a new COD next year. It's gonna get like delayed till 2024, and they're gonna go on a different cycle because definitely needs it. But yeah, so for me though, I think those have really been the main like kind of games though. It's like Saints Row Back from Blood this week. I don't know if I got a chance to play Overwatch, maybe a little bit, but yeah, still had a lot of fun though, nevertheless.
Yeah, it's a good time. But I think this is a good point to should probably segue into the actual news, the whole point of the podcast.
I think we should.
So, what do you got for us this week? I know you like starting off with a little bit of hardware.
Oh, you read my mind, dude. So, we're starting off. The company Rode, Mike. Do you know that company?
Of course, yeah. I actually have one of their boom arms.
I do as well.
This mic, actually, I believe it's a Rode mic, or not a Rode mic, but a Rode boom arm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have the Rode arm too. It's like one of the best arms you can buy, really, in my opinion. So yeah, I got one of those from my other mic, but yeah. So it turns out that Rode is actually launching a gaming-focused audio product line. Very interesting stuff. I didn't suspect this. I mean, they I know Rode has some of the best like entry level like studio production mics. Like if you're trying to be like be an artist and stuff.
Yeah,
has some pretty good stuff. But yeah, I mean yeah, in terms of gaming, it's not like I think they got like the Rode. I think there's like a Rode podcaster. There's like a couple of like they've had some USB like kind of mics in the past, and they certainly have like some. Certainly make really good mics, but But now they're going with they're trying to make a new kind of product line. They announced a new division that's dedicated to audio equipment designed to serve the needs of the gaming and streaming community. The Australian audio company, which no, I did not know they were Australian. This is news to me.
Neither did I.
I had no idea. Yeah, they're an Australian audio company. They made a new sub-brand, Rode X, and the lineup will launch with 3 products. It'll be 2 microphones and a virtual mixing solution called Unify, designed for streaming and gaming. Unify software allows users to route and mix up to 4 USB microphones and up to 6 virtual audio sources, including game, chat, music, and browser applications, through a single interface. The software can remove background noise and otherwise improve the quality of your audio with the help of compressors, noise gates, and high-pass filters. This is there's a screenshot too in the article. It looks very similar. First thing that comes to mind to me is like Elgato's interface. That they came out with a software interface like a year or 2 ago. Looks very similar, very much like, you know, you have like your different mixing, change your levels, change and this is kind of, I feel like, because like the Go XLR, something I have, it's like good for routing and stuff like that, but it is definitely hardware, and the hardware is kind of the main thing. But yeah, I mean, the software is a huge proponent of that as well, and I think nowadays we're seeing more like the software kind of take over the mixing stuff. Like, you don't necessarily need a hardware device to like change levels and like worry about all that. It's all like, you know, software now, so no real surprise there. Nevertheless, Unify is free if you buy a Rode X microphone, but not with products from the main Rode product line, and is otherwise available to purchase as a subscription, either monthly, around $5 a month, or $45 a year. All subscriptions will be billed in Australian dollars and may not be available in all territories. That's very interesting point, and very weird how they do that, I feel like. But I mean, also it says, you know, it encourages you to buy their actual hardware, like that it's meant for, I guess. But definitely an odd choice. I don't know how. I feel like this would maybe deter a lot more people than they suspect. But I mean, just overall a very interesting choice, I think. And personally, I would probably, this would, like, if I'm getting a mic anyway, I don't know if I necessarily like, if I'm getting a pretty high end mic, I'd probably just get a hardware interface anyway, and I wouldn't even worry about like software stuff, because like at that rate, you're already spending a decent amount of money for the mic. Might as well get a good mixer with it. But yeah, regardless, moving on to the actual hardware. So the XDM100 is a dynamic cardioid microphone with USB-C connectivity, featuring a pop filter, shock mount, and 3-meter headphone extension cable. The design includes a headphone output with level control and a mute button. Removing the pop filter reveals a red and black color scheme that will look familiar to those who endured the edgy phase of gaming hardware in the early 2010s. Didn't write that, but that's pretty funny. The XDM100 is available to buy for 20. So I was going to say, let me see this. All right, $250 for this microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's up there for sure, especially for a USB mic. Because
that might be the most expensive USB mic I've seen.
Yeah, definitely. It's up there for sure. I'm trying to think of there's a ton of microphones that are comparable. That's like 150 maybe, like on the very high end for USB, and then even less than that. So I'm really curious to see how this sounds, because I mean, don't get me wrong, USB-C. I mean, nowadays USB mics are fairly decent, if not comparable to like dynamic mics and XLRs. So I mean, I would have to hear it, but I mean, if I had to guess, I would suspect there's probably not much of a noticeable sound difference between this and like a Yeti or like the HyperX Quadcast, you know? So
yeah, I
mean, I don't know. It seems a little up there. I mean, it is a dynamic mic, so obviously it'll probably be more comparable even to, you know, some of the other like dynamic mics out there. But yeah, very interesting price point, you know, $250 for that. Anyways, there is a second mic I'll cover real quick. It's the more affordable alternative, the Rode X. So it's the Rode X XCM50. So it's like a really weird, like, it's the Rode X XCM50. It's a compact USB-C cardioid condenser microphone with a price tag of $150. It has a boxier design and includes a shock mount and internal pop shield, and it features a built-in level control and mute button. Customers will also get a desktop tripod included in the box. this looks very similar to I think another mic that they make, where it's like very much this like condensed little box that kind of like you can just like sit on your desk. Um, Definitely an interesting design. It looks nice with the red and black, I must say. With that, looks pretty good. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's fair.
yeah, it's. I mean, certainly not for me. I would personally go with a different option, but doesn't look bad.
Yeah, if it's me, man, like $250 for a USB mic is a lot of money. And it says it comes with like, does it say? Oh my goodness, you have to purchase separately for a boom arm.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily. I mean, from the looks of it, it doesn't really come with like a desk mount. It's kind of just like
No,
you need the
it
arm.
says require. Yeah, it says will require a boom arm or stand to complete the setup.
Or
Purchase
yeah,
separately.
purchase separately.
That is tough.
Real tough.
Um, man, the mic that I'm using right now, and you actually sent me the link to this article initially. What, yesterday or today?
It
Uh,
was today. It was today.
yeah, and you were just like, yeah, it's basically why are they trying to copy HyperX?
Yeah, the color
And
scheme, like
yeah, for people that are looking on screen, this is oh sorry, this is a um HyperX like quadcast mic.
yeah,
One of the
quadcast.
first editions. It's not the one that you can't change the colors for. But I mean, that's basically what they're trying to go for. But it came with the shock mount. It came with an entire like self stand. The whole reason
Right.
I have the arm is because like keyboard makes noise. So, but it didn't cost $250.
Yeah,
You know who I
definitely
want to
not.
see review this is Harris Heller.
Yeah,
You remember his videos? He is all about sound,
yeah,
and he always goes into all the different USB mics and tries to rank them.
yeah. Always, all the time. There's one YouTuber. I'm actually gonna look it up real quick. I found recently. Um, Actually, I didn't find him recently, but I always love his. I particularly love his reviews because it's very much like kind of straight and to the point. Um, and he does like a bunch of like the same. He always does like the same test for each one. It's called podcastage or podcast stage. This guy, I love his videos because it's like he's a musician, like I don't know by trade or whatnot, but like or it's like a really good hobby, um but like he does the same exact thing in every review. Like he does a different test. He'll do like a 2 foot, 4 foot, like and he'll do even like instrument tests. Like he'll play his guitar and like he'll put it up to the amp and see how it sounds like with instruments
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
pretty cool.
So he'll do like a well-rounded like okay, how does this mic like even though it's meant for like streaming, how does it perform just as a mic? And so like he'll do a bunch of different use cases. Very thorough, and he always does a good job. And he's like he's become I think an opinion I always trust, and I like look for whenever there's like new mics that come out
Yeah.
because he does like really thorough tests. So yeah, that's another person I'd recommend. I'd be curious to see what he thinks about these because I'm sure he's probably gonna get a hold of them at some point. Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
yeah.
him and Harris Heller
The
are yeah, they're up there.
the other thing I want to mention, you talked about Unify, this software that they're basically using. It's a mixer, a virtual audio source mixer.
Yeah,
How do you feel about this? You have to buy the mic in order to get it. So it's only free if you have the mic, so it's not really free. Or you have to do a subscription of $5 yearly. Is that what it says? No,
$4 or $5 a
$5
month.
monthly
Yeah,
or $45 yearly.
I
What's your
mean,
thought on that?
I would probably never use this. If I'm being honest. Like, there's just no
Yeah.
market. Like, there's no market for me. Um, if you're getting USB mic, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, there's like, I know voice meters like complicated and like filled with a bunch of crap most people don't need, but like,
But it's free.
I would rather struggle with that for free than have to
Yeah,
pay
there are enough
$5
YouTube
a month.
videos out there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, rather than pay extra for this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you have a Rode X mic, great. Like, I mean, this. I'm sure this is a cool like kind of solution, but also like, I don't know because of detail if there's like sub mixing or anything like that. Like, which I know I'm pretty sure with Elgato software there is. So there's like a few more features with that. Granted, I'm pretty sure it only works with the Elgato Wave mics. I don't think it works with like any others. But I mean, I don't know. Personally, for me, I'd rather deal with voice meter for free than pay $5 a month or like 45 a year for this.
Yeah.
So that's my
I'm right
opinion.
there with you.
Not going to be.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah,
going to say. Like,
yeah,
why are you paying a subscription service when you can just go get one for free?
exactly.
So,
So that's my stance. But I mean, more mics in the space, cool. More hardware in the space, cool. Do I think like the only thing like it's USB, which is why it's kind of I guess tailored towards gamers and stuff because it's just quick plug and play. But I
Yeah.
mean, like, there's not like I mean, I have a dynamic mic and a Go XLR. I mean, this was pretty easy to set up, and it's dynamic, and it sounds probably just as good, if not better, with most mics. So, I mean, it's not like there's much of a learning curve with this. At least I didn't think there was. It sounds great. So, I mean, something like this. I mean, I mean, there's also like the beacon mix, which is like that. I think that works with USB mics. So, I mean, if you have a USB mic, just you can pick up a beacon mix, which is a little hardware hub that has, which is probably a better interface than Rode X. No offense to Rode X, but I would trust that probably more. Yeah, it's weird. Like for me, I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be people that buy it, but for me, I just there's already so many options that they would have to do something compelling and different for me to consider it. I feel like if I was looking for a new USB mic. So that's my stance.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I'm right on the same page with you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, best luck to Rode. Maybe he does well and proves us wrong, but just kind of a interesting, interesting product line.
We're questionable. Probably the best way to say.
For sure. You know what's not questionable, Mike? Give me them good transitions. That ain't questionable, baby. Oh my gosh.
It's the Witcher.
Oh, kill him. Oh, kill him.
It's the Witcher.
Yes, sir. CD Projekt Red revealed this week that Witcher 1 remake is in the works. Built in Unreal Engine 5. Did you have any other doubt? I mean, did you think any other engine? Of course not.
Oh, baby.
Anything else? Yeah, so this week, straight from the horse's mouth, CD Projekt Red, they announced that there is going to be a remake to the first Witcher game, rebuilt from the ground up utilizing Unreal Engine 5. It says The Witcher is where it all started for us for CD Projekt Red. To the studio head, Adam Badowski, of the name, the announcement. It was the first game we ever made, ever, and it is a big moment for us then. Going back to this place and remaking the game for the next generation of gamers to experience, it feels just as big, if not bigger. Before I continue reading, though, I must say, I've been wanting to play the first Witcher for a while. Like the Witcher series in general. Like I think overall, like I think my original take was on like I don't know if it's really my thing. Like it's kind of like in that medieval time period. I've never been like huge on that. But I mean, if you remake the first Witcher game where it all started, and I don't need any previous context or anything, because I feel like part of Witcher 3 too is like. And this may not be the case at all, but like you may need like a little bit of context going to Witcher 3, but like with this one, like I feel like you don't need context, and it's like it's an Unreal Engine 5 too, so it's gonna look pretty good. At least I would hope, hope with all this Unreal Engine 5 hype leads to successful drops, but yeah,
that's facts. I think one thing we got to mention, because there's gonna be somebody that's like a diehard Witcher fan. The Witcher was like what's it called? A book series before it became a game back in like 1980 something, I think. So the first Witcher video game came out in 2007, but I'm on the same page as you. I hadn't actually played the first game. I know the story, but if you play The Wild Hunt Witcher 3, it does reference what happened in The Witcher 2. There's a lot of background. I think it's very rewarding if you know the full story, but you don't have to know the full story in order to play that game.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that they're going to do Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, for the first one. Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is something that'll probably actually get me to play the first game and dive into that world finally,
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity too. And like this is one of the first remakes in a while where I feel like it makes sense, right? Like this was announced on the 15th anniversary since the release of the game in 2007. So like there's been some time, and there's been a lot of graphical improvements since then. There's been a lot of just in general, like games just look way better, right? So, I think it's gonna benefit greatly from just a rebuild, and I think it really gives them an opportunity. Like with all remakes, it gives them an opportunity to stay true to the material, but also probably change some things up and kind of make it maybe even a little more modern, a little more enjoyable for a newer audience,
Yeah, I hope they have like there was a couple of new remakes that came out in the last 2 years where they went back and redid the cutscenes and made them better. I think one for me that was like really, really cool to see is Halo 2 had such a good story. And because the game came out in 2004, the graphics are going to be kind of trash,
Yeah.
right? So when they came out with the Master Chief Collection, when it finally could work and they did the anniversary, Halo 2 anniversary, and you were playing that, man, when you were doing the story, the cutscenes were they didn't redo them completely, but they updated all the graphics and then they added more to it
Yeah.
to make it like to give you more of like significance. They gave like more characters, more features to look at to like really draw you in to the story. So I'm hoping The Witcher does this as well
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it might be worth going back and like visiting. And for you and I, we should go ahead and play it.
Yeah. I think for sure, yeah. This is definitely a game that's gonna be on my radar. I will say from the original announcement, I read it over. It was pretty short, but for the most part, they said, this is still a ways off, especially with
Yeah,
all the other projects they're working on. So it's gonna be at least a few years before we probably maybe even before we hear anything else about the remake, but um it's got a little time. I'm willing to wait. We got a lot of stuff to play in between, so but this is definitely going to be something I'll be keeping an eye out for, and especially within the next few years of conferences and stuff. I'll be wondering, is this where they show the Witcher 1 remake stuff? Cause or
yeah,
is this where they show Witcher 4? I think they're like that because they have so much going on now that they announced that is in the
they really
pipeline.
do.
It's like when are we going to see what? And yeah, there's a lot going on over there, so it's crazy, dude. This is building up to what we said for so long that like within the next couple years, all the fruits of that these studios have been growing are going to be ripe for the
Yep.
picking. So it's going to be an interesting next few years. I think this is just adding to it, baby.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red in particular is just going to be so cool to see. They're going to have the new Witcher game come out, the new season of The Witcher. I think they might be recording or filming for season 4 now.
Mm.
Admittedly, for Witcher fans, that's a little bit like what's it called? Take it with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah,
Because they weren't really loyal to the story. But for people that are more casual viewers, that could be actually really exciting. And then they have these remakes coming, and they apparently we covered the CD Projekt Red conference call to investors talking about all the new projects that they have on the pipeline. So the studio as a whole, I mean, they might pop off, man.
yeah.
It could be pretty cool.
They're setting up for it, dude. I mean, with the
Yeah,
release of Cyberpunk, there is like that shadow of like kind of haze about
yeah.
like do I want to trust this? But
They
um,
fixed it, and they're working on DLC for you.
that's true. I
So
mean, did it take 2 years? Maybe. I'm willing to look past that at this point. All right, like we got the
that's
update.
fair.
It's working pretty well. I mean, we'll get the DLC. I think I'm definitely gonna play the DLC regardless. So I'm excited for that at least. Yeah. I mean, I'll be curious to see what they do with the next Cyberpunk game too. Man, different conversation for a different time. I think safe to say. I will move on to some rather unfortunate news. I think for Rocksteady. Rocksteady's co-founders, Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker, are leaving the studio. Pair that founded the studio in 2004 are reaching their conclusion at the company. In a letter posted to the Rocksteady website, David Haddad, love that last name, Haddad, president of WB Games, made the announcement. With Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League nearly finished, they have both decided to leave Rocksteady at the end of 2022 and will begin a new adventure in gaming, the letter reads. We have the utmost respect and gratitude for Jamie and Sefton and wish them all the best in their new endeavor. And like many fans, we look forward to what they do next. Nathan Burlow, longtime Rocksteady director of production and original founding member of the studio, will now become the studio director. And Darius will become the studio product director. Hill and Walker released a joint statement as part of an announcement and confirmed that their next move in the game space will be together. They said, our decision to leave Rocksteady was emotional to say the least. From the day we founded the company in 2004 all the way to today, Rocksteady has been our life and soul. Now with Suicide Squad in safe hands and the team here stronger than ever, it's time to hand over the reins and for us to start a new adventure together in games. I think it's pretty sweet. Like, you leave together, but you're like, you know what? Let's like go start over. Yeah, let's like start over. Let's like lead some other thing. And then they're just the fact that they're going together, just like they built this like insane studio and made these great games. They're like, you know what? It's been like I feel like they're just like, it's been 18 years. Let's try again. Let's see if we still got it, kind of thing. That's what I feel this kind of is. So I gotta respect it. For those that don't know, the studio rose to prominence with Batman Arkham series. Began with the Batman Arkham Asylum 2009, widely called the greatest comic book game of all time by critics. It was a huge success that spawned 2 direct sequels, Batman Arkham City and Arkham Knight. The VR spinoff, Batman Arkham VR, was released in 2017. I mean, yeah, the Arkham series, I would agree with critics there. Pretty solid games. And there's a lot of
amazing.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting stuff in it. I mean, I've seen footage too of like I don't know, I think it was I'm forgetting the villain's name, but he would actually mess with the game itself. You know what I'm talking about? Is it it's not Riddler, because that's clearly not what I'm thinking of. Is it Scarecrow? Maybe it's Scarecrow, yeah.
Scarecrow. I think it's Scarecrow.
Yeah. He would mess with the game. Like, he would actually, like, it'd make it seem like the game bugs out and then, like, crashes. And, like, you wake up and Batman's dead. It's like, it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think, I wonder, so, I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but you know how, like, there are writers that are trying to come to, like, a success story, they're trying to do their own thing and stuff like that, especially, like, show writers, they have something that they've dreamed up, they've written, and they can't get greenlit because it's, like, a new experience, so they take an existing IP, and they do it right, and then they prove themselves as, like, we can handle it and be successful, and then they can go back and actually do what they want to do. I feel like that's what they might be doing, because they had one game outside of Batman series where it didn't do that well. It wasn't like critically acclaimed or anything like that. But now with the Arkham series and just the overall Gotham Knights, just absolutely crushed it. I think now they have the opportunity to be like, okay, well, we have enough money, we have enough experience, we know how to function as a studio. Let's go do our own thing, something brand new, not taking an existing IP. So I think this is pretty exciting for them. Yeah. And I'm happy for them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. Yeah, the article does go on, talk about in 2020, there was actually some controversy that was reported by The Guardian, the studio failing to resolve issues related to sexual harassment and inappropriate behavior. It was reported that more than half of the female employees of the studio had contacted executives about the issue. Rocksteady replied to this and told The Guardian in 2018 we received a letter from some of our female employees expressing concerns that they had at the time, and we immediately took firm measures to address the matters that were raised. Over the subsequent 2 years, we have carefully listened to and learned from our employees, working to ensure every person on the team feels supported. In 2020, we are more passionate than ever to continue to develop our inclusive culture, and we are determined to stand up for all of our staff. So yeah, but there was a little controversy there. I think the article kind of wanted to mention that as, like, they've had a little bit of a rocky past. All right.
Oh my.
Anyway,
gosh.
Sorry. Bad time. So, but yeah, it seems like they've gotten past most of that, and hopefully it's a better environment. At least I'm hoping so. But yeah, so the new Suicide Squad game was set to come out this year. It got delayed until spring of 2023. So it's coming out next gen only and PC. Next gen, current gen only in PC. Yeah. So yeah. I'm very excited. It looks like a very interesting game. It's kind of like, it seems like a multiplayer kind of like fighting kind of style. It's very interesting, but yeah. So I don't know. Best of luck to these two lads over here. Hopefully they go off and do something pretty cool. So
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, huge respect.
It'll be
there.
Good to keep an eye on. See how it works out.
Yeah. See if they start a new studio. We will see. You know who should probably start over, Mike? Or just just drop, just leave entirely.
Are you trying to suggest that one of the biggest social media enterprises is trying? Is that what you're trying to say? You're trying to they need to disappear? Is that it?
Maybe I was harsh. All right.
That was strong.
Very strong. What can I say,
down
dude?
for people.
I get passionate sometimes. All right, but Meta, you know Meta. Formerly known as Facebook.
Yeah.
And Meta's losing billions on the Metaverse, and it's not getting better. I hate to say it.
Jeez.
Oh, it's not getting better. The Facebook and Quest company Meta is currently getting raked over the coals by investors due to yet another quarter of massive losses in its VR and Metaverse division. Company's quarterly earnings revealed that the Reality Labs division, which covers its VR and XR efforts, as well as Metaverse endeavors, saw $3.7 billion in losses from operations. But while this was an exponentially large loss for the division, or exceptionally large loss for the division, it's coming off a long history of losses going back quarter after quarter. This same division has seen losses of 9.4 billion so far this year, compared to 6.9 billion in the same period last year. That's a lot of money, dude. Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
That's so wild.
We covered their VR headset, $1,500, I remember.
Yeah, it's the new Pro, the new VR, the new Pro headset.
I guess we know why it's so expensive. They need a bailout.
Yeah, they need something. It says, notably, though, this doesn't seem to be directly tied to a massive drop in revenue. Excuse me. Overall, the company's revenue was $29 billion for the quarter, down only 4% year over year. But revenue from the Reality Labs segment alone was only $285 million, meaning Facebook's family of apps division, which deals with Facebook, Instagram, and the like, largely carried the company. Put simply, Meta's VR and Metaverse efforts are bringing in very little money compared to how much money Meta is spending on them. So, something you never want to hear about a division, right? Like, it just doesn't, it's not good,
But they're trying to be innovative. So, all innovation costs money.
It's very true.
Especially if you're going to try to be a pioneer, then I think it makes sense that you're going to lose a lot of money in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. They of course they've said to stakeholders and stuff, and it says Meta said that the increased scrutiny on all areas of operating expenses on this division, they certainly see it from investors. But yeah, I mean, it says give some of the language using the earnings. It's sounding more and more like this may mean layoffs soon, which is rather unfortunate. But
that's crazy.
But yeah, but I think to your point too, it's like they're trying to do something. Like they're trying to do something crazy and never been done before, and that kind of stuff. I know I listened to part of a podcast recently with Mark Zuckerberg and Joe Rogan because he was on Joe Rogan Experience. And there was they talked, I think, and like Mark talked about a lot of like the stuff they're working on, especially with Metaverse and like just the VR division in general. I mean, he like Mark Zuckerberg often is, he has big visions and big ideas for where he wants to take it, and so yeah, who knows? But he also always mentions, this stuff is in the very early stages, so it's it's going to be a while before we see even VR headsets. I feel like that are in a very immersive experience at an affordable cost, and something that's going to be used widely. But yeah, it's VR is certainly taking a while, but who knows? Or maybe we're getting closer and closer to something big. You never know when it comes to tech. So yeah. Overall, pretty crazy stuff for the Meta, for Meta, and honestly, like Metaverse, it just seems like kind of a I've never really seen much on it, and I who knows if we'll see stuff on it for a while, but it also seems like everyone's spending especially like a lot of the billionaires and stuff are spending a lot of money on stuff in the Metaverse, which is interesting. But
yeah, it's all very speculative. Probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's probably a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Who knows if it's actually going to work out? Because they don't. They're just risking it. It's like gambling for billionaires.
yeah, it's probably a good point. It was funny too because it said Phil Spencer actually called the current ideations of the Metaverse a poorly built video game, saying that building a Metaverse that's like a living room is not how I want to spend my time. And, coming from Phil Spencer himself.
Yeah, the guy who basically represents all gaming.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. So
yeah,
very interesting take. And I would I think so far I kind of agree with that. So we'll see. It's one of those things. We might get proven wrong always, but it's looking weird right now to say the least.
Yeah, let me read one part of the article. So back to where you just saw Phil Spencer's thing, and you can highlight it if you want to. This is a very concerning sentence, okay? It says, at the same time, Zuckerberg and Meta were being readily mocked by the internet due to the ridiculous visuals of its employee metaverse, Horizon Worlds, which apparently none of its employees actually enjoy using. If you're an employee
Mhm.
designing something and you don't like what you're designing, that's a problem.
That's rough.
That is a problem.
Yeah,
You got to enjoy it, man. And if you don't enjoy it, then what are you doing?
yeah. And
So,
what's the point?
yeah,
Yeah,
what's the point? So, that's concerning to me.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah,
I haven't seen anything for like the actual like the MetaQuest Pro demos at all.
I haven't
And
either. Funny
that's
enough.
like kind of our hobby slash job right now.
Yeah,
Where is it?
yeah. No, it's not. It's definitely not easily findable to say the least, which is
No,
weird. But
really weird. Like
no.
I've seen VR stuff all over the place online of like new games, like indie devs putting out games that are like, have you seen the first person shooter VR headset or like VR? Like it's supposed to be a competitive game. It looks like CS:GO mixed with Valorant. It's crazy.
Well,
Well, that in itself is kind of the same thing, but you know what I mean. Um,
yeah.
but it's VR. It looks insane. It has such a cool like spectator mode.
Hmm.
I'll have
Interesting.
to.
I don't know if I've
I
seen it.
won't. Yeah, I'm not gonna shoot in the dark right now, but it should be releasing soon, I believe. Um,
Hmm.
I'll have to tell you later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'd be curious to see it. Sure.
all that basically to say there are other options, so they need to do something about their marketing team. I need to see some action.
Yeah, putting it lightly, but they need to start ramping up, get something innovative, as some people say. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes of the metaverse. Maybe it's the future, but I don't know. We all thought crypto was, and look what crypto is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
you know what
don't
I'm
worry,
saying?
it's gonna bounce back. It's gonna bounce back. Help me.
Rebound, baby, rebound.
Help me, I'm poor.
Help me. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we shouldn't joke. There's somebody right now real sad.
Yeah. To be fair, if
To be fair.
if you're like me and you invested in crypto at all in the past 2 years, you're in the red. So we're all right there down in the trenches right now. So
Yeah.
is what
But
it
you know
is.
what they say, if you're down, there's only one direction you can go. Bankrupt. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, down the
Have you
oh,
ever seen
dude.
negatives? Go
uh,
exponential?
yeah,
Let's
go
go.
exponential, dude.
Oh
You know
gosh.
what I hope doesn't go exponential? Oh,
Oh,
zing.
tell me.
Oh, dude. Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer talked a little bit this week about the potential rise in Xbox Series X and Game Pass prices in the future.
Oh, baby.
Something you don't want to hear, but
Never.
the more you
But it
think
makes
about
sense.
it, it just makes sense. So, Phil Spencer says that the Xbox hardware or subscription prices will have to rise at some point, but not this holiday. So it's not going to be soon, air quotes, but it is more than likely going to happen. And this was according to Phil Spencer. So as reported by The Verge's Tom Warren, one of the more widely known video game journalists I've come to find in the past few weeks. During the Wall Street Journal live event, the Xbox boss said that Microsoft won't be able to hold off on the price increase for its products forever. He said, quote, "I do think at some point we'll have to raise the prices on certain things, but going into this holiday, we thought it was important to maintain the prices," Spencer said. "We've held prices on our console, we've held prices on games, and our subscription. I don't think we'll be able to do that forever. I do think at some point we'll have to raise some prices on certain things." There you go. That's the article. That was it. No, I'm just kidding. There's really not too much to cover on top of that though. Yeah, it says that's not to say there are current plans or timings in place to increase the prices. However, at least for consoles, as Spencer said in September, Microsoft currently has no plans to increase the price of the Xbox Series X or S. And that was directly after PlayStation and Sony announced that they were raising the price of the PS5 on all markets besides like America, pretty much. Like everywhere else in the
Yeah.
world, like UK and those markets were seeing increases. But yeah, US was fine. Interesting. Yeah, so we saw that. Xbox said there's not going to be an increase, at least anytime soon. And so that's, I don't know, like I think personally a Game Pass price increase would probably make the most sense. Maybe just even a small bump, like $5 or something like that, higher than normal, is probably to be expected at some point. It's probably a safe assumption. In terms of console prices, I mean, I think it's pretty much like known at this point. They're already made at like a loss, right? I mean, they're not really I feel like they're not gaining too much profit off the actual consoles they sell. It's kind of just they're willing to lose money on the vessel that is their console in order to get money off their studios and the games they put out and the licensing and everything else.
Yeah.
So and Game Pass now. I mean, I didn't include the article this week, but I saw another article saying that Game Pass, although it is slow in terms of people coming on, they're still gaining a profit off of it. So
yeah,
it's still very profitable for Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, I think a Game Pass price increase seems likely. I mean, I don't know, Mike, what's your take on this? Do you think we see a price in consoles? Do you think we see a price, increase in Game Pass? Like, where do you think this lies?
Okay. I'm upset. First
Oh,
of all,
he's upset.
the reason why I'm upset is because Phil Spencer said that they would not raise the cost of the hardware or subscriptions less than like 6 months ago. And the reason why I said that is because of the Sony thing. So they said in August 25th. That's not long ago at all.
Yeah.
That's why I'm upset. He also did say, to benefit the doubt, he did say it won't happen anytime soon. So that's fair, but I understand why you would want to raise the cost of the hardware, production, materials, all that's going to keep increasing. Okay, it is what it is. You got to keep raising the prices in order to make a profit. You got to pay people because wages, like people need to survive if they're working, otherwise what's the point? You got to have people incentivized to work for you. The thing that I'm upset about is the Game Pass, because the whole appeal of the Game Pass is that the more people that you have signed up for the Game Pass and the more subscription you have, the less you have to actually charge. That's basically Walmart's policy. Like, when you go to Walmart and you buy things in bulk, or like everybody goes to Walmart. Walmart was everywhere. That was their price model. They always like got directly from wholesalers, sold it slightly more because the intention was to bid so low that people have to buy from you because it just makes economic sense. Why are they doing that with the Game Pass? They're making money. They're making like, I'm gonna guess north of $20 million a month just on Game Pass.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a safe
You
assumption.
telling me that? Yeah, you telling me they can't afford to pay all the studios? They're not losing money. They're just gonna increase it to appease the shareholders because that's what it's about. You gotta always show growth.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's why I'm upset. It's
yeah,
not consumer based. It's shareholder economy. Economy is also the people, but that
yeah,
goes into a different philosophy. But
yeah. I mean, that's a very strong argument, and I think it directly correlates with what I was talking about. I didn't include the article here, but it was that Game Pass hasn't really seen huge growth, and it's to the point where it's kind of just like leveled out almost, and it's kind of like
yeah,
it's not really, they're not seeing the exponential growth that they saw the past few years. That's like a definite, right? So
yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
when you go to a shareholder, it's kind of like we're still growing, but it's definitely far less than it was, especially after pandemic and everything. And so yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, their shareholders are probably going to be like, I want to see those numbers up, Phil. I don't know what we're doing here. Like, why are we here? Why are we investing money into this? Very unfortunate, but that is the gaming landscape as we know it in 2022 and probably moving forward. So it's an unfortunate reality, I think
Yeah,
we should just all buy
you're
indie
not
dev
wrong.
games and swear off AAA. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna
I
insinuate
wouldn't
that
say
kind
that.
of thing.
I wouldn't say that. Indie devs, shout out. They're crushing it, but man, there could be misses out there. And
Yeah,
but the
definitely.
other appeal is indie devs are on Game Pass now, man.
It's very
You
true.
can test out their games. It's fine. But
Very true. Very true.
whatever. I think we're digressing a little bit. I think it makes sense to raise the price. You can justify it, but I don't want to pay more. Is pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm just a dude that sits in front of his computer talking about news. So I don't know like everything. I don't know the ins and outs of business. I don't have a business degree. I don't understand like burn down charts. I don't get any of this stuff, right? I just understand that at least for me, my little dumb brain, it's like, okay, if they're acquiring more studios and they're getting more IP and they're having to run a lot more and do a lot more, it's like eventually may affect the price of the actual service itself. But you had a really good point about like it's just at the end of the day it's just shareholders and they're not seeing a huge increase in subscription price, so that would definitely be like, all right, well, something's gonna have to change here. Either you like shut this down, or we increase the price a little bit to see some profit. So
I know what can fix it. Add Overwatch to Game Pass. GG. See you in 5 years.
that easy.
See you in 5 years.
That easy. But listen to Mad Mike. All right, Phil Spencer,
Honestly,
you
honestly,
listening?
honestly, like, come on. I should be the CEO. I don't know why we're even talking about this.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Podcast is gonna be done, once you're once you're off the Xbox. So.
No. I'm taking this with us.
Come
Come along for the ride.
The podcast division at Microsoft, imagine. Just start doing.
Just start interviewing people and start roasting. Where is my DLC?
My only stipulation is I want free reign for anything I say against developers in a comedic fashion, of course, in a civil comedic fashion. But yeah, I want to keep some freedom of speech there.
That's fair. Yeah, bring them onto the pod and just be like, all right, so this is a roasting session. Have you ever seen was it VH1 roast of, and then whoever the celebrity is? Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh yeah, this celebrity roast.
Start with.
I mean,
yep.
Dude, I just want to go to roast Xbox too. Be like, yo, Xbox, I know you're winning, but like, what is this, dude? Like, just go hard. I'm like, what are we doing, dude? I know I'm part of the platform, but like, what's going on here?
Yeah, we need to lock it up.
Lock it up, dude. Damn. Oh, dude. What a week of news, Mike, I think that was all I had. That was like the only big hitting articles this week that at least I found.
I feel like it's a steady lineup. I think next week should be pretty exciting for people. We got the November releases, which should be pretty good. We'll probably get an update on one of us checking out or playing COD. I definitely gotta mix up my gaming because I've been grinding Overwatch for the last 2 weeks. We gotta mix it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully you get some type of announcement for your update on your games.
Yeah,
patched.
I hope so too. I mean, I added Saints Row in my tweet today. Let's see what they say. I'd be interested to see they respond. I know they respond to like pretty much they respond to a lot of people that tweet at them. Like, so we'll see if I get the generic like, oh, we're working on it. Let's see.
My favorite is soon.
Yeah,
it's coming
soon. TM
soon. Trademark.
Yeah, trademark.
If I see that one more time, I'm jumping out the window. I mean, I'm on the first floor, but I'm jumping out the window.
No, I'll drop 3 feet out the window. I don't care. Yeah,
3 feet.
What I will say is that I do want to talk about kind of the changes in format I think we have across both of our channels right now.
Yes.
Because we have the main channel, right? We have, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're on the main channel currently, M2 Podcast. On this channel, we're going to start uploading shorts to the main channel. Main reason for this, I've been seeing a lot of research over on this YouTube Vid Summit, or whether it's like some, London event where they talk about shorts. And it's creators specifically saying, their experiences over the past year with uploading short content, what they found worked. So yeah, after kind of digesting all that, shorts are going to live on this channel along with the main content, and then the clips channel. And I don't even know, like, I may end up talking to you about this at some point because I'd be interested in maybe switching things up. YouTube does such a good job of actually like, of itemizing certain videos on a channel. So whether that's like full content, short content, but also, I mean, with our homepage, if you go to our M2 Podcast homepage, it is the full length episodes is the first playlist that shows up, and then it's like pretty much everything else. There's like a segments playlist too, where it actually links back, I think, to the clips channel.
It does.
So yeah. But I mean, as of right now, shorts and main podcast will be on M2 Podcast, and then all the segments that we upload will be on the clips channel, M2 Podcast clips. Yeah, pretty good separation there, and that's how we're gonna do it going forward. So.
Yeah, it's really nice because for the longest time on YouTube, if you wanted to make, it was kind of like the way they viewed YouTube channels was like a topic, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't like a traditional channel, as in a like TV channel. Like, when you go to the History Channel, you would see like either real history documentaries or like fake history, right?
Yeah.
But the way they treated YouTube channels was like a TV series. So if you created something different on your YouTube channel, it would mess up the algorithm completely. So that's why you would have multiple people with different channels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's same thing with like the format. So like the shorts and stuff like that. So for people that don't understand why we had 2 different channels to begin with, that's why. And YouTube finally like started mixing it up where they're like, okay, if you want to find this user, doing YouTube Shorts, then you can also be recommended their long form content.
Yeah.
And if they're doing short form content, that's what you're more comfortable with and convenient, which a lot of people don't have like an hour of their time to just sit and watch a video. They'll watch shorts or segments. And YouTube finally like actually recommends that, and the algorithm's caught on. Like it's gotten so much better that we don't really need two channels. It's getting to that point.
It is getting to that point. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, for now, I think we'll keep segments on a separate channel, but you know, at the same time too, I mean, you know, we're putting shorts on the main channel. Who's to say that segments at some point don't just move over and we just have one giant, just M2 podcast like community hub, where it's just, you know, anything and everything. So we'll see how it goes. Man. It's gonna be a nice little experiment. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I expect good things as long as we stay consistent, which we have been doing. Been seeing gradual growth on all platforms.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are actually watching on video, we're literally on every audio platform.
Yeah.
So quite literally. So yeah, just yell at your Alexa right now and tell them to play the M2 podcast, and it'll play.
Yeah.
So whatever you want. If you want audio format, you want to go on the go, you can download it early, go for a hike, whatever. If you don't have cellular service, there are options for you. So
yeah.
Overall, listen if you want to listen. We appreciate the ones that do. And I think that's all we really got for the week.
That's all we got, man. Right? That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, man. Well, happy Halloween for the people that are celebrating. Hopefully you like the costumes. Hopefully you're having a good time. Appreciate everybody for tuning in as well. And I think that's it, right? Let's just wish them a good one. Yeah. We'll see you next week. We're going to give you updates for what's coming out in November and, you know, regular video game industry related news. See you later.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Bye.
Happy Halloween.